I'm Valeria Long. I represent the libraries on Graduate Council, and presently I am a liaison librarian with the Kirkhoff College of Nursing and some other allied health areas. I've been around for a while, so I kind of have an idea of what's going on in other areas. Oh, yay.
Don't say yay yet, just hold on.
Almost. And of course, I didn't put together a PowerPoint because I'm trying to get away from that. And I just tried to get into our webpage on my iPad, and it's not happening, folks. But there's more than one way to get to this, so bear with me. Anyway, each academic unit at GVSU has a librarian who liaises with that area. And from the library's homepage, which I hope to show you momentarily, you can find a list of those librarians. There's also a list of library staff, multiple ways that you can get into this. The one thing I wanted to emphasize, about a year ago, there's a website called Inside Higher Ed, and one of the regular blogs in there is called Grad Hacker. And it's really, I wish they had that when I was in grad school, but they didn't. Anyway, last year, one of the writers for this blog mentioned they had a theme of the things that you needed to crack grad school, be successful in grad school. And guess what was #1 on the list? Getting to know your librarian, yes. And that's not because we're nice people, but because we know how to help you save time. But I do need to emphasize, we're not going to do your research for you. As much as we would love to, but you're not going to learn anything by us doing your work for you. But we will help you identify the best resources for whatever it is that you're working on and how to best search those resources. Yeah, I use Google too, and don't tell anybody, occasionally I'll even look at Wikipedia. But we have over 300 databases here that we pay big bucks for that have the kind of literature. Boy, I really did it, didn't I? Wow.
It locked up pretty good.
What can I say, guys? I try. Where was I? Oh, okay. We have all these databases, and these, you're in grad school. Come on, you're going to need to be using scholarly resources for most of your work, unless your profs specify otherwise. So, yeah, if there's something that's totally foreign to you, yeah, maybe going to Wikipedia or Google might be a good place to start. And boy, I love Google Scholar too. But use those databases. You're paying for them, just like, hey, use the library, use the librarians, because guess what? Part of your tuition dollars help finance the library and the resources, including the people who work there, like me. So there are 5 library locations. The main library out in Allendale, it's a gorgeous, relatively new building. If you haven't been there, it is like pretty amazing. We have the Steelcase Library that is just across the courtyard, where most of the materials there are in support of the programs located on this campus: business, social work, public administration, legal studies, criminal justice. There's the Center for Health Sciences building up on Lafayette, Michigan, where I work. There's another library in there also. And we serve the health sciences, pretty obvious. And there's also the Seidman House out in Allendale, which is where the University Archives and Special Collections are located. Depending on what your field is, you may or may not utilize that resource, but they do have some amazing digital collections that you can access anywhere. You have a reliable, boy, I'm afraid to touch it now.
So now, do you have PowerPoint slides?
No, I need to get into Chrome if you've got it,
Okay,
you
sure.
know. And we all have our preferred browser, don't we? Oh, but this is another hint too. Most of your courses will use Blackboard. Use Firefox. It works best for Blackboard, don't you think, Vince?
At this stage, yes,
Yes,
because
at
there are
this
some
stage.
issues with Google
I
Chrome.
mean, it's amazing the glitches that pop up. But, yeah, nothing's perfect yet. Okay, anyway, so the Seidman House, which is also located in Allendale, and there's the Curriculum Materials Library, which is located just above the Steelcase Library, and that is kind of geared for students in education. However, there are many resources there that you might find valuable. Our student nurses discovered it. Ah, yes, oh, thank you. Discovered it this past fall, and there's a lot of cool stuff like Ellison dyes and a smaller poster printer there. But finally, we're where I wanted to be to begin with. So, what I wanted to point out to you is getting to know find out the librarian for your area. If you go to the About Us, you can go down to Liaison Librarians, and there will be a list. Here it is by subject, and you can just look to see who is the liaison for bioinformatics. That's Debbie Morrow, and contact information's there. The other thing I wanted to point out also is there is a subject guide for each topic taught at GVSU, as well as some things for resources that you might want to use. And these are in alphabetical order. And, well, I'll just show you the nursing one because that's the one I know. And I actually, sometimes there's multiple guides for multiple areas. For nursing, I've got one for the graduate programs and one for the undergraduate programs. The advantage of using these guides is that we've gone through and we've vetted resources that you're likely to need to use, and also links to different things. So this is sort of like a good starting place for your research. Okay, a couple other things I wanted to mention. As a graduate student, you can check out books for up to 12 weeks, which is pretty darn nice. Unfortunately, we generally do not purchase textbooks. I know oftentimes when you read those little hints on how to cut costs in college, they'll say, borrow your textbook from your library. Well, I don't know who ever came up with that information, because most university libraries don't buy textbooks because A, they get out of date really quickly, B, they tend to grow little legs and walk, they never get returned. And C, how fair would that be for one student to be able to check out a book for 12 weeks and nobody else? So don't count on us to have your textbook. However, we've got lots of other books. We have many, many, many e-books that you can access. Most of them allow for simultaneous users, so everybody could check them out at once. So that's really pretty great. Unfortunately, the e-book environment isn't quite as slick as Kindle or Nook, where it's pretty easy. They all have different platforms, but we're working through that. It's not our fault, it's the vendors, but that's another topic. You can have up to 30 items checked out at a time. So if you're really digging into some research and need, like everything on that topic, yeah, you can have that big stack of books that you're schlepping around. But again, talk with the librarian, because your librarian for your area is going to know what are the most relevant sources. Just because you have a lot of stuff doesn't mean it's all the best stuff. One thing I wanted to point out is the services menu here. And there are a lot of different things here. Some of these links you'll see other places, like the link for graduate theses, dissertations, and projects. there, from the graduate school website, there's those links too. But this is a good place to look for things. Another thing I wanted to point out is the help menu. And actually, our help menu is kind of helpful. And there's a whole thing on how to find things, needing some help, using the library. This is pretty helpful. You know, library hours. Out in Allendale, they have study rooms that you can reserve. Poster printing. You might find yourself in a situation where you need to print a poster. Out in Allendale, they have a regular size poster printer. There's a smaller one at the Curriculum Materials Library across the way if you just need a smaller poster, but that should work. Any questions so far? Due to our minor glitch earlier, I'm not touching anything on that side. Another thing that I think you ought to be aware of is document delivery. Even though we have a lot of resources, and in fact, it's pretty amazing for a university this size. It's not a Research One institution. We do have a remarkable library collection. And I'm not just saying that because I work here. I mean, I've talked with colleagues other places. However, just like University of Michigan and Michigan State, we can't possibly purchase everything. So sometimes you might need to get something from another library. There's a couple different ways to go about this, but document delivery is like the golden tool here. We will obtain articles for you from other universities at no cost to you, and they're delivered electronically. So you never even have to walk into the library, although we would love to see you, but all these things are delivered electronically. The first time you use document delivery, it will ask you for some information such as your phone number. I believe it also asks for a permanent address. And that's so we can track you down in case you borrow a physical item that we have to return to another library. But other than that, we don't want to know your mother's maiden name. But it's a great service. Again, no charge. You can have up to 30 items requested at the same time, which is a huge amount. Again, I would recommend getting to know your librarian because they can really help you. Like, oh yeah, that is a great article, but maybe there's something else that you can get right now, because even though we have agreements with other schools that we get priority with their document delivery department, it can still take, on occasion, up to a week or more to get an electronic copy of a journal article. And physical items, well, it definitely will take longer. So, plan in advance, but hey, you've made it through undergrad, right? You know that. You know you have to do a little bit of advanced planning. And just to reiterate the whole thing about, managing your time and so forth, that especially goes for using resources that you might need to get from other areas. Another thing I wanted to point out to you is our scholarly communications. If you are putting together a thesis or dissertation here at GVSU for part of your coursework, hopefully it will be included in ScholarWorks, which is our open access repository of works created by GVSU faculty and students. And it's a really great resource. There's more information about it on the library's web page about this. And to reiterate what Dr. Smart said earlier, there are funds to help support your scholarly endeavors, so take advantage of all of that. And that, whoops, we're still here. good. To get to the library, of course, physically, well, you know, there's that one across the courtyard in CHS above, up on the hill in Allendale, but from the webpage, which is probably how most of you are going to access the library. From the GVSU homepage, there's links under current students, and there's also a link on the bottom of the page, and you can go there and get here. We're open 24/7 on the web, anyway. So that's pretty much your basic review of the library. I meant to also add, all of our library pages have been optimized for mobile devices, so you can use your tablet or phone. However, we have like over 300 databases, and these are different vendors. Not all of the databases are optimized for devices. And, I meant to also point out, for the databases, you can also search them by subject. There's the default's an alphabetical list, but you can go in and select a topic and find the most relevant databases. So there's a lot of ways to get where you need to go as far as these resources. Any questions? Well, again, if you have questions later on, which I hope you do, because that's why you're here, to have an inquiring mind, right? Touch base with, get to know your librarian. I mean, seriously, we're kind of geeks about research and information and all that stuff. So touch base with your librarian, and they can help you set up alerts for a topic area, or just be a good sounding board. Again, we're not going to do your research for you, and heaven forbid, we're not going to write your paper. But we can really be a good resource. I think that's it. Thanks for your attention. Thank you.
So my job is to get us back on time. I was supposed to speak at 4, so I'll be relatively quick. First thing I have to ask the group is, what is your goal at the end of this journey? Yeah, right? How many people here are hoping to get a good job or improve their position at their current location with their graduate school degree? Absolutely. That's what we're here for, right? We're relatively simple in that that's our job. It's to work with you as individuals, being that you're looking at your first professional position, or you're looking at how do I position myself in my current job, choose transfer to another department, or upgrade my position. That's what we do, right? Well, Jeff, our Dean Pottinger, his first slide kind of said it all. The Career Center meets that bullet point, improving your chances of starting that meaningful career. So take advantage of our office. We have 2 locations. We have an office up out in Allendale, in the Student Services Building. We have an office downtown, right here in DeVos. There's 15 professionals that represent all the disciplines working on your behalf. So take advantage. We have 2 people specifically kind of designated now for graduate school. A new position. Literally, this is the first week we've talked about it. It's going to be an associate director of graduate school career services. It'll be the liaison to the graduate school, to our office, to you all. We also have an existing associate director who will continue to work with all the health science majors. Right? And we want you to use the resources. We were now, a couple things I wanted to mention based on previous presenters. The word competition. I think it was Mark or somebody talked about competition. It's a competitive marketplace out there. I've been here 10 years. I was in corporate America for 15 before I came to Grand Valley, right? I was there in 2000, 2001, and watched 2002, 3, 4 struggle, right? So what did we do? We built up to 2007, and then the economy crashed again. And I watched a struggle in 2008, 9, 10. And for the last couple of years, things are going really well. Now is a really good time to come out of school. It's a really good time to go to graduate school. Well, let me tell you, you still have to figure out, how do I differentiate myself from my competition? Because what's sitting in this room is part of it, but every other college that has graduate school is producing competitive people as well. So how do you do things now? Be it research, internship, co-op, clinical, any other type of experiential education to improve those chances. And that's why we want to be kind of your coaches through that process. I was telling somebody today, I'm working with a current MBA student who thought that just getting an MBA would help leverage himself within his company. But he forgot to tell his company that he's getting his MBA, and we talked about how do we work with them. They should help you kind of decide what are some of the electives you could take to take on some projects within your current work to leverage that upward mobility. And those are the conversations we can have with you. And because you're grad students, you have a different situation than most undergrads. But if we don't know, if we don't have the conversations, it's hard to really help. The last thing I want to talk about is somebody mentioned fish in the pond. Our office over the last 6 years has really tried to grow our employer base. I think Grand Valley has always been a really strong local or regional school. But what we've tried to do is expand beyond that employer base in West Michigan and go to the east side of the state. Right? Minneapolis, Chicago. What are some other areas our students want to live in? And then we can leverage some relationships and get those employers to recruit at Grand Valley. You know, our career fairs 6, 7 years ago, we'd get 100, 120 companies to come. We're now up to 230. And the only reason we have that 230 is that's what the space is allowing for. Right? Cargill, 3M, all the major hospitals, Ford, Chrysler, GM, these are all big companies that did not recruit at Grand Valley 5, 6 years ago that are now coming because of the talent we're producing. So take advantage of the resources. This is my message to you today. And in fact, I just noticed Brianne walked in. I'd like to introduce Brianne Gorham. She's stand up, Bree. She's kind of the new individual I talked about that's going to be that liaison to the graduate school. And then Ginger Lang, who currently works with a lot of the graduate programs in health sciences field. And then myself, Troy Farley, is the director of the program. I still am very close with the MBA, MSA, and MSc programs. So thank you, welcome, and enjoy it.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Grand Valley State University. If you haven't figured it out already, I work for the Information Technology Department here on campus. So I provide a variety of support to faculty, staff, as well as students. My title here at the university is E-Learning and Instructional Technology Specialist. And as part of those responsibilities, I provide support for all of our university-supported computer applications, as well as our hardware. I provide support for our video conferencing and desktop collaboration tools. So we've got a whole or wide variety of capabilities and resources that are available to you as students through our IT department. And I'd like to review just a few of those with you so that as you begin your studies and you start to get into your classes, you've got some concept of what type of assistance might be available to you. So if you're not familiar with Grand Valley or you're just new to the university, you may not have realized that Grand Valley is actually one of the top connected universities in the country. We're well known for all of the audio-visual as well as computer tools that we have available on all of our different campuses. That includes a variety of built-in technologies that are available directly in our classrooms as well as in our conference rooms. They include a variety of collaboration tools as well. So as graduate students, you're going to have the opportunity to be able to take advantage of all of those resources, whether you're taking face-to-face classes or whether you're enrolled in one of our many online or hybrid classes as well. Now, our information technology website is actually broken down into 3 primary areas, and each one of those areas has a variety of resources then that you can access depending upon what type of information that you're actually looking to gain. And so the first area is services, and included there is access to all of our computer labs, where they're located on all of our campuses, as well as the hours that they're open. Now that's going to be important because depending upon what campus you're primarily doing your work, those labs can, or the lab hours can actually vary depending upon the different buildings' schedules. So it's important that you familiarize yourself with that, whether you're taking classes up at our Center for Health Sciences or whether you're out on our Allendale campuses. That is actually going to vary. The next area is support. And so for issues concerning basic computer services, network connectivity for your different devices, or hardware problems that you might be experiencing, you can either call our help desk, there's a number there that you can reach at 331-2101, or you can visit one of our many walk-up desks that are available on the Allendale as well as here at the Pew campus. In Allendale, if you're in the Mary Idema Pew Library, you can go down to the mezzanine or the lower level of the library. There we have one of our walk-up help desks. And then here on the Pew campus, if you're familiar with the C building, which is just north of us, which also houses the Laker store and Starbucks on the main floor, if you go up to the second floor of the C building and go to an area just outside of room 260, we have a number of students who can also assist you with any problems then that you might be experiencing. That final area of our website then is the resources area. And here you can access an online database of information related to issues and topics that might be of concern to you. You can also access information about our new cloud-based print release workstations. Now you don't have to actually go to a computer lab in order to be able to, and log into a computer in order to be able to print your documents. You can actually print them from any device that you have that is connected to the internet. You simply attach what is your document that you would like to print to an email. You then send that to a specific address, and then you go to one of our print release stations, and they're located in a variety of areas on all of our campuses. You enter your university credentials, and then it will automatically print those documents for you. And they're available to you up to 24 hours after you actually send that email. So if you're working at home, you finished up that document, you need to print that in order to be able to turn it in before you get to class, you can send that to our cloud printing service, get to campus, go to a lab, print out that document, and have it ready then for your class that evening. Now, I mentioned the student credentials that you are going to need then in order to be able to log into those print stations. And as a new student at GVSU, you should have already received then actually 2 sets of credentials. One is going to be your university network login, and the other is going to be your banner login. Now, the university network login actually gives you access to a variety of different resources, including the Blackboard Learning Management System, which is used by many of our faculty on campus for distributing course content directly to you online. It's going to allow access to what is your student Gmail account. It's also going to give you access to your personal network drive. That network drive is accessible on any university computer. You can also access it from off campus using that URL, mystudentdata@gvsu.edu. There you have 500 megabytes of storage available, so you can use that as a secure repository then for any of the content or research that you might be conducting. You'll have the satisfaction of knowing that that content is always going to be backed up as well. So it's not like keeping your sensitive documents on a USB drive that you're moving between computers. You can just simply use that network drive then for saving then all of that library information that you have actually been collecting. It also gives you access, that university network login, to a web page space. So if you want to build or need to create a web page for any of your courses, you have the opportunity to be able to do that. And of course, it gives you access to our student wireless network. So you can connect any of your devices that have wireless network functionality directly to the student wireless network. And it's the same on all of our campuses. So regardless of what building you're walking into or what campus you're on, you'll know that you'll always be able to connect to our wireless network. Now, that other set of credentials is for the Banner system, and Banner is the university's student information system. Many of you may already be familiar with that. You may have utilized that for actually enrolling in your courses. It also gives you access to your grades for paying bills, as well as changing your passwords. And that is a completely different set of credentials, which consists of what is your G number and a special PIN then that you create for that access. So when you're logging into the Banner system, you'll be using your G number and PIN, but when you're logging into any of our other resources, you'll be using your university network login and password. Now, your university Gmail account, which was also provided to you at the time that you enrolled, is very important. And if you haven't had the opportunity to log into that just yet, I would highly suggest that the next opportunity that you have, once you're online, you can go out to our university homepage. There you can either click on what is the email icon, which is located in the upper right-hand corner there of the toolbar, or you can go directly to what is the URL, which is mail.gvsu.edu, and log in then using your network credentials. Many faculty have already started sending out information about the classes that you've enrolled in for the upcoming winter semester, so you're definitely going to want to take a look at that as soon as possible. In addition to Gmail, which is provided by Google, you also have access to a variety of other Google applications. Applications that you're definitely going to want to take advantage of as part of your research and the work that you're doing here as a graduate student. That includes Google Drive, and whereas your personal network drive here at the university has only 500 megabytes of storage available, your Google Drive actually has unlimited storage. So you could conceivably store gigabytes of information, and that can include videos, it can include audio files, pictures, documents. So certainly take advantage of that for those large documents or files that you want to be able to also save and have access to wherever you might be logging into what is the internet. There's also docs are available there for collaboration purposes. You can also gain access to over 60 other Google for Education apps that are available as being part of your enrollment here at what is the university. And there's a lot of faculty who like to use Google as well for collaborating as part of their regular coursework. So it definitely pays to become familiar and to get to know what those different tools and capabilities are. Now, I did mention Blackboard. That is the university's online learning management system. Every faculty, staff, and student has a Blackboard account. And a Blackboard course is created for every class section at the start of each semester. Not all faculty will utilize Blackboard, but more and more of them are utilizing it every day for distributing information about classes, for disseminating tests that you will then take online. You'll be submitting a lot of your assignments directly through Blackboard electronically. And so what you'll want to do is to also go out to mybb.gvsu.edu and log in there to kind of take a look and see if any of your professors have made their courses available yet and what kind of content you can look forward to for what is the upcoming semester. As we were talking about a little bit earlier, as far as web browsers are concerned, Chrome, Firefox, and Safari, and not so much Chrome anymore, but those are the preferred browsers when accessing Blackboard. Although what I would suggest is that you actually have all three of those or a combination of those installed on whatever computer system that you're going to be utilizing. Not all features and functions that are available in Blackboard work in all of the browsers. So if you're in Blackboard and you're having a problem or something just doesn't seem to be displaying right or won't work correctly, just simply try logging in using one of your other browsers and see if that actually resolves the problem. You can also contact our BB administrators if you're having a problem with Blackboard. We actually have some graduate assistants who work with us. They man the help desk, the Blackboard help desk, from approximately 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. So you can talk with them directly over the phone, or you can email our administrators to get further assistance if you're having problems with your Blackboard account. Something else to keep in mind is that Blackboard now has a new mobile app. It's free to all Grand Valley students. So if you want to be able to access Blackboard directly from your smartphone or a tablet, you can download that application from either the Apple Store, from the what is Google Play, or even for Windows. You have the ability to download that app. It gives access then to many of the standard features and functions that are available in Blackboard. Doesn't allow you to do everything that you would normally be able to do in Blackboard from your laptop, but it's nice to have if you just simply want to check due dates or look at grades or just simply review content then as part of what is your coursework. Finally, some of the other services that are available to you. Hopefully you haven't gone out and purchased the Microsoft Office suite just yet, because now that you're enrolled as a student at Grand Valley, you do have access to what is the free Microsoft Office 365 application. It contains the complete suite of Microsoft Office products, including Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel, OneNote, as well as a number of other applications. You can go out to our IT website where you can actually download then the complete suite, and you can download it on up to 5 different devices. So if you want to have it installed on a laptop, if you want to have it installed on a tablet, or you simply have multiple computers that you're working on, maybe one of your work computers and a home computer, you have the ability then to download the app and take advantage of that as long as you are enrolled as a student here then at the university. You can also get discounts on computer purchases. We have discounts available through Apple, Lenovo, as well as Dell. You can look for those discounts online. You also have the ability to go out to our Allendale campus. Our new Laker store there has a lot of computer equipment and accessories also on display. So if you want to be able to sort of look and feel before you purchase, you've got the opportunity to do that right on our Allendale campus. We also have an emergency notification system here at the university. And it's especially helpful during this time of the year when you never know what type of weather you might be experiencing. If for whatever reason the university should close due to inclement weather, by signing up for what is the emergency notification system, then you can actually receive, whether it could be an email, it could be a text, it could be a telephone call, or any combination of those then, alerting you to any changes in the university's schedule or other notifications that might be officially being sent out by the university. So I'd highly recommend that you go out to our website and sign up for those emergency notifications, and that way you'll be sure to be up to date and know exactly what's happening on campus. Finally, if you're out on our Allendale campus, I would also recommend that if you're in the Mary Ida Pugh Library, that you stop by our Atomic Object Technology Showcase. We've partnered with a number of technology companies. What they've done is they've provided us with a variety of state-of-the-art and cutting-edge technologies that we actually have on display. So you can go in, you can play with those different technologies, you can kind of get a feel for what direction technology is moving. And those same technologies are also available for you to check out. So if there's something interesting or unique or you think would be cool to include as part of a project that you're going to be presenting as part of your coursework, you can go to the technology showcase, you can reserve the equipment, and then utilize it as part of your presentations. Remember, if you have any questions, feel free to contact our help desk. You can do that either by walking up or by phone. And good luck this semester.